I mean, my number one job today was just to come on here and make a good heartfelt post, and then the rest worry about later. So here we are. Whew. So it's 11:22 a.m. on a Wednesday, right? June 25th. It's great because you got the people that, got kids. You got the kids that are on school break with college and high school. You got just random, regulars. You got the old people crowd. So it's a nice blend right now. I'm really happy about that. So this morning, my big intention, which by the way, let me make sure I'm filming. I am indeed filming. So I think goal number one is my phone is on 100%, right? Goal number two is that I get to the beach, all right? Today in my morning meditation, I was frantically talking for a half an hour with my coach, and then we just dropped in. Long inhale, long exhale. And the last 2 days was very rainy, and I wasn't able to get my core nature and sun time. So what better idea to come here and reset and recalibrate and gain some more clarity and inspiration, especially because the card I pulled today had to do with my soul. And I have some very important topics to highlight. And like I said, had to get to the beach. I could have stopped at the library. I could have stopped at the grocery store. I could have stopped at a Starbucks. I could have stopped literally to the gym. I could have done a lot of things. I could have looked at my phone. But I said, I need to just beeline it. I need to go there. I need to take my time. I need to listen to some calm. It was just a lot of instrumental music on the way here. Kind of neutral vibe. Just kind of, get my ducks in a row, really. Because I don't feel like I'm on the right path the past 2 days. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. You're going to get distracted. You're going to fall into some bad habits. And how can you bounce back, right? And that cold water was awesome. It really was. It forced me to, refresh. And, I did that. And it's cleansing. It's purifying. And on the way here, I was thinking about a lot. It's reflection time. The beach is really space. And all I said today is I just want to get in my body. You know what I mean? It's all about that at the end of the day. That's what matters, right? I was in the parking lot and I got, 10:40 a.m.? I get the Indeed notification from the job interview I had yesterday. I'm thinking to myself, this can't be good. Or it can be amazing. One of the two. But the best thing is I get to come to the beach afterward and I get to sit with what happened. So I did not get the job, and half of me is thrilled because, well, it wasn't the right fit. It wasn't meant to be. And I didn't want to do a commission-only job in financial and insurance sales, okay? So that leaves us with the plane that just went by, right? There's that ding, ding, ding in my head, always there. And then, one of my good friends, I always used to go to the beach with him. I was thinking of him on the drive. One of my good friends, we've been voice messaging. He is in Maine. And, both their ideas of life, the way they see life is completely different than maybe my roommates, who are doing the traditional path. One of them works for the town, the other one works for a financial firm. And, I am somewhere in between. I do not want to sink into the emotion of apathy, right? Apathy is something that will keep you feeling restless and stuck and ultimately anxious and depressed, right? So, you ask yourself, who am I? What do I want? And, my bodily sensation, my head is burning from the technology and the information overload. So what does that mean? It means I have to come here and take a long walk, eat some good food, talk to a stranger, whatever, express my truth. And that's it, right? This is the full-on 10-minute podcast episode. June is Men's Mental Health Month. Now we transition into, July, and, everyone's going to flood these beaches pretty soon. This is the nice in-between where it's, 75, 80 degrees today. So it's like summer with a nice taste of relaxation. But yeah, there's a lot going on in my life, and I'm sure in other people's lives too. But the one thing that we can do is come back to our breath when we get, ungrounded, and put one foot in front of the other. But I'm happy, I showed up today to just talk about this. I think other people have to do the same thing. If you have a goal, you have to take advantage of it. For me, I try to hold myself accountable, but I also say, with grace, I was challenged by my symptoms and my pain and, the lessons that I had to endure. And I'm right where I have to be. And, then you can kind of sit up straight and be okay with it. This tripod literally just broke. I mean, I'm holding it up with a rock right now, you know what I mean? The camera's going to be slanted. It don't matter, I'm here. Life throws you curveballs, and you're not always going to get what you want. You're going to get what you need. And I'm definitely, not where I want to be. And hey, that's okay, But, every no is an opportunity to, continue to get better each day, right? And, how can we be of service? How can we be of value, right? All these things. And, try not to get so nitty gritty about it and the information, like I said, and just live, right? Like, this is living, coming here, just being good vibes, being good energy, and the rest will kind of follow. But yeah, there's feelings where I'm watching the FIFA World Cup and I love that, but at the end of the day, I'm just like, what am I doing here? You know what I mean? I'm just watching the program, right? Like getting tangled up and not taking care of what matters. So constantly going back and forth. Like I said, the stock market, distraction, I love it. It's a hobby. It's something that I thought that I would make my life out of, and I haven't yet. Maybe I will one day. The dream is always fired up inside me, alive. But for now, it is not something that is helping me in all cases. I think, you can pray and manifest and assume that, everything is going to, just go in your favor. And then other times, you're not babysitting it. And I see a notification today that my stock is down 5%. What do you know? I'm in leverage. Therefore, my contract is down 20%. So 20% of my investment is going down the tube today. You know what I mean? But if you were fa la 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 la, then, you could have been rich off of semiconductors and tech stocks. But, we are living in the age of psychological manipulation, and Mr. President, I don't know what's a lie and what's truth and yada yada. I don't know. And I try to stay neutral, and I try to, disconnect from the outcome. And that's in everything in life. But, it's hard to not get wrapped up in anything. $15 an hour for parking. It's not something that feels good in my chest. But hey, I'm going to just pay it, enjoy the day at the beach, and then, continue to, do the things. But this is good. This is a little it's a little, accountability for myself and for everyone else listening that, enjoy your life, because all these constructs that our society has made, it's all bullshit. But on the contrary, you know, you can be in the system and still thrive and still, you know, help one another. But you know, I'm trying to find a happy medium, and I just, you know, I talk to someone across the world in a completely different reality, and it is just that, you know. A year ago today, I went on a retreat to Mexico, and it was very awesome. However, you know, the years go by, and you know, there's the part of me that's saying, you know, you're doing, like I said, you're doing great. And then the part of me that's saying, you know, what have you done? So let this be a message to work hard and have fun. So I'm going to leave it at that and make some more content along the way.